Hey guys, welcome to my Enderal gameplay. So we moved out of the dungeon. Now we'll be moving towards the outside world. Okay, first let's check something. Yeah, we should read some books here. Okay. Other than that, okay.
Now would you look at that? I knew I'd seen someone scrambling in the mountains. What brings you here, my sir?
That's a long story. Where where am I here? And who are you?
Who am I? Findelires, Apothecarius by my path. Pleased to meet you. And you are at Sun Coast, in the south of Enderal. Where are you from? But wait, don't tell me. I know that accent. Nerim, isn't it?
There we go. Everything's locked up. At least for the night we should.
Wait a second. Who's that?
Just an adventurer on his way. No reason to worry.
No reason to worry. For heck's sake, Finn. How do you know that this guy isn't with the bandits? You said you'd call me if anyone showed up. And now you're standing here, having a chat with him as if this were the bathing house of Ark.
Lo and behold, we are still alive. Now, is there anything else, Carbos?
I've got my eye on you. Touch any of our stuff, and you'll regret it. Unbelievable.
May I present Carbos, as he lives and breathes. Sorry about that just now. That's just how he is. In any case, if you don't need any more help, I'd suggest you move on. Follow the way east behind the dam house. It'll lead you to a village called Riverville. Here, take this. Truth be told, you don't look so healthy. Your eyes... well, whatever.
What about my eyes?
There's something peculiar about you. I don't know how else to say it. I would examine you myself, but we don't have the right equipment with us. So if I were you, I'd ask a priest in Riverville to have a look at you. Who knows? Maybe you caught something in that temple.
Can you tell me more about this religion?
Well, what can I tell you? This is the Sun Coast, in the south of Enderal. A pretty peaceful area, except for all the animals and bandits that have recently started going crazy. And, well, that's pretty much it. I think you should ask the people in Riverville if you want to know more. They certainly have some stories to tell.
I see. And are there places that might be of interest to an adventurer?
To an adventurer? If you ask me, what you need before you adventure anywhere is some good old-fashioned shut-eye. But yes, there are some places. The Three River Watch, for example, right there below the stone arch. It was once an old trading post, but now it's full of shady characters. And there's also a big Pyrian ruin south of it.
You said you were apothecaries by my path. What do you mean by my path?
By the Black Guardian. You really are an outlander, aren't you? My path is... well, It's just me path. My role designated to me by Malthus. A kind of calling, if you will.
A role designated by Malthus? You mean the gods assigned your professions to you?
Not exactly. Malthus designates our place in society. Generally the same one our fathers and forefathers occupied. I walk the path of the erudites. And there's also the manufacturers, the sublimes, and, of course, the pathless. Within these roles, we are free to choose a profession, but certain vocations that are available to an erudite are not permitted to a manufacturer, which is one path below. However, below does not mean that it is in any way inferior. Everyone on Enderal does what they do best. And who would know better than the gods what exactly that is?
Okay, so let's move on. Just an idea. Yourself?
Maybe. But if I look at other countries, even within the civilized world, it's hard to find a people as peaceful as ours.
That's it for now. Thanks for your help.
Don't mention it. I wish you a quick recovery and safe roads. Walk blessed. Carbos, do we need the still tomorrow? Or can I clean all the tools?
Places, Finn, I'm playing. Don't bother me.
I guess that means no.
What?
By the righteous path? What happened to you? You look as if you've met the Black Guardian himself.
Yes, I certainly have this kind of fever. Do you have any idea what it could be?
Fever? Well, there could be many causes. Wait a moment. I think I still have some grunt root. That should be enough to ease your pain, at least for now. Take a seat at the fire. The warmth might help you.
Oh, so now we're brewing potions for complete strangers.
Well, if the strangers are about to die of fever, then yes. There was that oath we swore once, remember? To help the afflicted, to...
Whatever.
Thank you. Gruntroots, gruntroots. Ah, here we go. So, let's see. Sheer cup, some water. Ha! Done. I can't make any promises,
Shit.
but...
Finn! The still!
Explosives. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's great.
Ha ha. Do something, damn it! Do something! Oh. Oh, sod it.
Do I really have to watch every step you take? That was a fucking close call.
Hey, I'm sorry, all right. We'll pick up a new one in Ark.
Yeah, and you're paying for it. Here I thought this bloody day couldn't get any worse.
This day isn't getting any better. Here, drink this. It'll help you. See, you already look a lot better. Still, you should let a priest take a look at that fever as soon as possible. The grunt root potion will wane in a few days.
Thanks, but what in blazes just happened there?
What? You mean the still? Bad quality, and too much heat, I'd wager. But, whatever will be, will be.
But the explosion, the voices, they were yours.
Explosion? I'm not sure I follow.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Finn Dalleries. Died in 8234. Cause of death, exploding still.
Ha ha. Look, I really don't know what you're talking about. Maybe...
Wait a second. What was that? I could have sworn I saw something moving over there. Oh shit!
What the? Carbos!
They've hit me, Finn. Those bastards. They've hit me.
Carbos! Do something, damn it! Just...
Now look at that. Our mysterious survivor has awoken.
What? Where am I? Who are you?
Jesper Matumiel Delveric. Jesper for short. And you, my friend, are at my very own campsite. Before you ask, yes, the bandits killed both of the Apothecary. The only reason you're still alive is that the impact of the explosion threw you right into the thicket. Most of your injuries are only superficial, but your fever, well, that's a different story.
Wait, what do you know about my fever?
Quite a lot, actually. You're suffering from Arcanist's fever. Honestly, I'm surprised the old Apothecarius didn't see that. Let me guess, you're suddenly capable of doing things you previously knew only from the Bard songs, right? You're unusually strong, you have reflexes like a cat, and drinking potions or any kind of magically infused substance leaves a bitter afterglow in your head.
Yes.
Well then, congratulations. Your magical talent just blossomed. A bit late, given your age, but it happens. Put simply, the fever is a result of your body not being able to cope with it. That's not much of a problem for now, but if you don't let an Arcanist treat you sometime soon, things are going to get grim.
So an Arcanist will be able to cure this fever.
Contain it, not cure it. From here on out, you're always going to be a little more sensitive than someone without magical gifts. But that's tolerable compared to what your magic will allow you to do.
What do you mean by a little sensitive?
Prone to certain conditions. As I said, your fever will get worse if you drink healing potions. But you'll also be a lot more susceptible to nightmares and those kinds of things. Also, you should be very cautious of areas with magical contamination, such as Thalgard in the east.
Are there any other remedies?
Well, there's ambrosia, but for an uncontained... Later, you can drink it whenever the fever gets worse. The stuff looks and tastes like undead sweat, and is bloody expensive, but it's the only thing that really helps.
Huh. What about these visions? Are they also caused by the fever?
You have visions?
Ah, never mind. So what can I do about the fever? Who can treat it?
Are you sure? The Enderalian spider plague is known to cause visions in the infected. And if this is what you caught in that old temple, you might as well start digging your grave, because your limbs will start falling off in a few hours if you don't do something about it.
What?
Relax, friend. That plague doesn't exist. I have no idea what kind of visions you're talking about. But your reaction showed me that you're trying to keep something from me, and that's a bad idea if you want my help. You know what? As I said, someone needs to contain your fever as soon as possible. And as it happens, I know people. But in return, I want you to tell me everything. What did you do in that temple? And what's the story with those visions? I can't put my finger on it, but there's something strange about you, and that intrigues me. What do you say?
Treatment for information. All right.
Well then, the stage is yours. I see. My condolences for your loss. So, let me summarize. You somehow survived getting thrown into the open sea, and while you were half dead, had this dream in which you saw burnt bodies and a blinding light?
Yes, but it wasn't just a dream. It was more like a memory. The temple I saw in it was the same as the one in the valley.
Huh. And you also said that your magic didn't develop gradually, as it usually does, but all at once, right?
Right after I washed up on the shows, yes, together with these visions.
Well, that's quite the story. I guess you know how absurd it sounds, but for some reason, I believe you. I've met a lot of liars in my life, and you aren't one of them. All right, it's settled then. I'll introduce you to my employer and ask him to treat you. Before we leave, however, there's something else I need to take care of, and I could use a hand. The sooner we get that done, the sooner we can make for Ark.
What's our
Ark? The capital of this country? Walls high as towers of iron-hard stone rest alone in the mountains in granite enthroned, never decaying, the ages surveying, guarded by Malthus, and blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth. You're going to see it soon.
Alright, I'll help you. The faster I get rid of this fever, the better.
Splendid. You'll need some information before you can help me, though. I take it the fact that Vin has seen better times hasn't eluded your attention, has it? For the last 2 years, there have been wars and unrest everywhere. And even though in Enderal there's officially peace, there are peculiar things happening here, too. Normally docile animals and fakirs attacking wanderers in the open. The dead awakening in hordes. It's unsettling, to say the least. The strangest thing, however, is the Red Madness.
The Red Madness?
Yeah. It's some kind of mental illness that makes people lose their mind. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was a smith in Ark who butchered his entire... He was drunk, but that doesn't explain why he screamed things like, "Fear the..." Now, you might say that these kinds of things happen, but by now, the fact that the afflicted's eyes glow... Thing is, some weeks ago it happened again. Only this time it was a magister from the Holy Order itself.
A magister?
A teacher who instructs the novices aspiring to become keepers. His name was Yero, a man with more than 60 winners on his back.
What did he do?
Well, according to the sole survivor, he entered the teaching room that day as usual, but instead of giving his lecture on alchemy, he gave a strange kind of speech where he kept going on about how mankind is corrupted. Then his eyes started glowing, he locked the door, and blew himself up in a magical explosion.
So what's your role in all this? You said you work for the order, but I take it you're no monk?
I'm not one for vows and austerity, so no, I'm no keeper. My specialty is recovering lost things. Treasures, tomes, memories, and the like. And the Order hired me to do just that. And thus, if there's something like a pattern to this malady.
You're after his motives. But how can I help you with that? I don't know anything about that magister.
Doesn't matter. Yero grew up in a small village not far from here. And according to the Order, he visited it quite often after his partner. What I want your help with is finding clues as to why he did what he did. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Great. First of all, I want you to travel to Riverville and talk to an old man named Alfred, a childhood friend of Yero's. Ask him what he makes of the incident, and whether he has any explanation for it. Secondly, a farm boy told me that he saw Yero throw something into the sea during his last visit there. The winds have been blowing inland the last couple of days, so go search the shoreline and see if it washed up. I myself will take a look at the house Yero grew up in. Ah, and here. This is a map of the region. Yero's house is at the blue dot. So, unless there's anything else, I'd say let's step to it. Just meet me at the farm when you're done.
Okay. Let's go.
Never walk back on the road from the aged man's abode. Oh, blazes.
Okay. So let's see what our objectives are. Find the strong box which Yero threw into the sea near his house and talk with Yero's childhood friend Alfred. Okay, so let's see them on the map here. Okay, so both have one general direction. So
Now a good pipe.
let's do some settings here. Potions. Okay, so this is the way we came. Let's not go to this way. Yeah, calm down. I will literally. Oh man, what is happening here? Here was a trap or something. Border of the protected lands behind this mountain pass, there will be no protection against pathless and travelers. Beware of rockfall and assault. Whatever. Well, that's a nice looking goat there. So how do we get down from here? Oh man. We made it. Okay, so we have reached here, wherever this is.
Hey, you there! Yes, you! Do you want to know a secret?
Buzz off, kid.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to this objective. Let's find Alfred. Riverville. Okay, so this town is called Riverville.
Who are you?
Just a traveler. You're Alfred, right? The childhood friend of a man named Yero.
Yero. This is about his death, isn't it? The rampage.
You've heard about it?
Of course, who hasn't? Yero was one of... you want to hear an old man's opinion, though? Malthus, forgive me for talking about a keeper like that, but it's the truth.
You mean you saw it coming? How?
Hard to explain, really. Come on, let's find somewhere to sit. It'll be easier to talk that way. Well, Yero, that's quite a subject, you know. You were right when you said we were best friends. Our fathers knew each other. For as long as I can remember, Yero and I were getting into trouble together. At least, until his mother died.
Not of old age, I assume.
No. Bandits killed her in broad daylight on Penny Road. Today these incidents she was on her way to Ark, accompanied by 3. Yero was shattered. I think the worst part was how the fishery decayed, and the poor guy filled his days with boozing and sleeping. It changed Yero forever.
How exactly?
Well, that's a good question. On the one hand, he became a man, despite his tender age. On the other hand, something inside him woke up, so to speak. A desire to make... Old Mother Jenica noticed it and took him under her wing. When he didn't have to help his drunken father, he helped in the village as much as he could.
He transformed his grief into productivity. Sounds like a rather positive development.
Indeed, that's one way to look at it. It wasn't long before he was the jewel of the village. And then the inevitable happened. And behold, since then, I've only seen him once or twice, as he rarely visited Riverville. I don't think he ever noticed how much that hurt me.
So what did you mean by always suspected that something like this would happen?
Oh, it's hard to explain. I believe it was the way how he wanted to make the world a better place. An anger mixed with deep grief. I don't think he was aware of it because he drew all his strength from that anger. The strength to do all this, to learn and to work day and night, but it slumbers inside the pathless. At first, it grants power, but... now let me go to sleep. All these memories are making me weary.
All right, thanks for your help.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so that was a nice old man. Find the strongest Yero tree in the sea. Okay. Let's go and find that strong box. Okay, so where is it at now? Yeah, here we go. Key. Good. So, we'll be telling Jesper in the next video. That is it for today. Okay. Take care. Goodbye.